Howdy friends, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Wow, my voice is very raspy today. But let's go ahead and get into another Get Ready With Me. I'll start by picking the products and then we'll get into what I'm talking about, which I still haven't decided yet. So I want to try the KVD Good Apple Foundation. I'm actually surprised this isn't melted. I'll talk about why in a second. But this is the same shade that I use in their other foundations, so hopefully it's actually a decent match. I think for eyeshadow I'll use this Revolution Ultimate Nudes light palette. If you haven't seen my other Get Ready With Me's, I basically have this big box of makeup that I've bought and haven't used yet, so I'm trying to use like 2 or 3 things every time I do a Get Ready With Me just to get some use out of it. And the other days that I wear makeup, I will work on my Project Pan stuff. So this is what that palette looks like. I think I will go with this e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine, and the shade is called Ecstatic. It's kind of a berry purple. I have not opened it yet. It's got a little heart in the middle of it. I wish they had something like this with SPF in it. I had one from e.l.f. that had SPF, but it's been long expired. So I'm not sure how you're supposed to use this KVD foundation, like if you're supposed to use a sponge or a brush. I usually try to go by like the brand's suggestion on stuff like that. So I will look and see if they have something to say. It says using a sponge or a dense foundation brush. Okay, so I will try a brush. I think I will use their foundation brush. I think this is the Lock-It Edge something brush. Or a good one also, just a foundation in general, is this one from Eco Tools, the Wondercover Complexion Brush. It is really dense. Maybe I'll use that one. It's got hair on it. Dang, that is a spot on. I mean, from what I can see, because my glasses are off and I can't see very well, but just from what I can tell. Wow, okay. I just hope it doesn't oxidize, because that would ruin it. Huh. This is the first time I've tried this foundation. Wow, holy cow. Like, you see this side of my face, and then this one. What? Now, if this lasts all day, that will be the key. So, I'll finish applying this, and basically, why I'm surprised this and my other products aren't melted yet, our air conditioner went out a few days ago. So that's why you can hear a lot of background noise. The window is open right behind my camera, because if it wasn't, it would be way too hot. It is, I think almost 11:30, maybe 12 o'clock in the day, and the sun comes up on the opposite side of the house where my office is, so I'm in here for now. Hopefully it doesn't get too hot before I'm done filming, but then the sun comes down this way in the evening, so I'm trying to work with it. For the past, this is the 3rd year in a row that our air conditioner hasn't turned on in the summer. So I think they're coming to look at it on Thursday, and today's Tuesday. And of course, it is the hottest week of the year so far. That's always how it works. And yesterday it got up to 83 in here, which, I mean, I don't, like, I'm okay with it being warm. I survived an entire summer without air conditioner. That apartment that I lived in was so old, it just didn't have an air conditioner unit. And apparently that's not legally required anymore. Or, like, not anymore, but it's not legally required. And you'd think it would be. Like, I am just in awe of this foundation. Because, like, I've seen the videos of other people using it, and I was like, wow. Like, it can't be that good, but today will definitely be a test of the staying power, because it is hot in here. I'll go with this Cover FX Power Play Concealer, because I've been using that in my Project Pan. Still not sure what I want to talk about today. Oh, one thing that was on my mind, or on my list of things to talk about, was Project Pans. So I've been kind of off and on with Project Pans for years. I don't want to jinx myself, but I think it's finally come to a point where I am needing to Project Pan, and then kind of also like losing interest in a way in makeup. I've been doing Project Pans off and on for a long time. Did I say that already? I don't know. But it's been several years, and there's a few that I did really well, but most of them have failed. Because I would get back into buying a lot of makeup or just forget about it. And there was one year that I think it was 2018, maybe 2019. I did an entire year of no buy, and that failed. Because I think around, it was June is when I got my leg tattoo. I was on a no buy, like of clothes and everything. But I had an opportunity to get tattooed by an artist that I've been admiring for a long time, and I did it, and I spent like more than the money that I saved by not buying makeup that year. I'm digging. There's just like, I'm literally using up this powder right now. It's all gone. I have another one that I can open. I got a brand new one. The same powder, the Milani Prep Set Glow powder. I have a whole playlist of my project pans. I have privated a lot of my videos from like years and years ago. I think like there was one that I did pretty well on. I think it was something by Halloween. And I think I finished all but one thing in that one. But that was at least 5 years ago, I think, maybe, if not more. Oh yeah, and the cicadas are out. So those are extra noisy. This foundation is amazing so far. Like, if it starts creasing or something, or like separating really soon, that'll be so sad because it looks so nice. So I think part of the reason that project pans don't end up working out well for me, I'm just going to keep talking. I think part of the reason that project pans sometimes don't end up working out for me, or a lot of the time, is that I can get into this cycle of buying too much and then like putting myself on a project pan or a no buy almost as a punishment for like spending too much money. I think during those times is when I fail at them, because I don't have any other reason other than I spent too much money. But like the money's already gone and I'm not going to get it back by using up the products. What will save money is getting the most use that I can out of the products that I have, so that way they don't expire or I don't waste them and then have to buy more sooner than I should. It's like if you've already spent the money on it, the money's gone. Oh, I just messed that up. But if you can make the ones that you have last, then that does actually save money. But I've noticed a pattern. This has to be related to ADHD, I'm pretty sure. It could be related to other things as well if you don't have ADHD, which I'm still awaiting the results for that, by the way. I think in my last Get Ready With Me, I talked about that. I got tested for ADHD and autism. I'm still waiting on, I think they send the results to my doctor and the doctor calls me, or I don't know. But like I said, that can be indicative or like a result of another issue aside from ADHD, or like, it basically boils down to like shopping addiction, which I don't think I have, because I don't know, it's kind of a cycle. Because like for years and years, ever since I've had a job and like had expendable income, I've been on and off. It's been just a continuous thing. So like first it was makeup when I first discovered YouTube and all that. And then it was, I quit. I think I tried to do to be like a nail blogger, and I bought a ton of nail polish. Like I had a big rack, I think, that held like 200 or 300 bottles, and it was pretty full. And I would do like nail swatches on this Instagram account, which is inactive. Like it's not even on my phone anymore to be able to look at, like to be able to open it, I should say. But that account is pretty inactive. But I haven't posted on it in years. Because I use fake nails now, it is not worth my time to paint them because it just chips off, and then I can't stand it when it's chipped off. And if my nail just pops off, I can glue it back on faster than trying to repaint it. And I can't wait for it to dry because I sew for my job, so I can't be trying to sew with wet nails. And I think I also tried to do like a project polish, like a project pan for nail polish at some point. That did not work. I think I sold all of them to someone that was watching my channel. I don't think they even do anymore, but somebody was like, oh, you're decluttering all those, you should send them to me, I'll pay you. And I'm like, okay. But like that was literally the only time. I would not do that again. To send, people ask, like whenever I do a declutter, people ask for the products. I'm like, no. Like, first of all, we're in a panini press right now. I'm not giving you my expired makeup and you don't know if I have COVID or not. Like, then after the nails, it was, I think I went back to makeup for a minute, and then I started hyper-focusing on yarn, because that was around the time that I was starting my business, and my business actually started as crocheting. And that's also when I started working at Hobby Lobby, and I got a discount, and then they also had like just clearanced a ton of styles of yarn. Oh my gosh, my room was overflowing because that was before I got a separate office. And I have ended up selling the majority of that yarn, and then I still have some left that I need to get rid of. That foundation still looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and set it with this e.l.f. Matte Magic Mist and Set that will never end. And it's just been on and off with makeup ever since. Like, I think in 2019 I didn't buy much makeup at all. Like, I didn't really use it much. And then in last year, in 2020, I think I started, it feels like it's a seasonal thing as well, now that I think about it, because it's usually around my birthday, which is in April, because it happened this year too with something different. But last year around April, I remember buying a bunch of makeup. I think maybe that's when all the brands like start releasing their summer stuff and like having sales, or I don't know. But then April's also the time when I like start getting myself together because the seasonal depression goes away for a little bit, you know. So maybe that's also related. Or I don't know much about astrology, but like, is that related with all of that? Like, if you guys know more than that, let me know. Like, if you, around your like sign time, like, I don't know how to explain it. Because since I'm at Aries in April, like, when it's Aries season, does that have something to do with it? Because it's not just like strictly buying things during that time, but it's like I want to get my entire life together starting in like April, May. I think that's also related to my menstrual cycle as well. I don't know if it's just ADHD people or if it's everyone, but the day or two after my period is over, I'm a new person. My cat's still under the bed, he's making noise. But the day or two after my period, I basically get organized. I'm like the most productive like those days out of the entire month. I think it's a cycle because this year, around March, I got into Squishmallows. But I also bought a little makeup too before then, but not as much makeup as I usually would have if I hadn't started to get into the Squishmallows, because that's pretty much taken up all of my free time. I think I'll talk about Squishmallows by themselves in the next Get Ready With Me. It's because I think it's really interesting, even if you're not like interested in them like this. The whole phenomenon is wild to me. But I think this year I'm fine being on a makeup no-buy, because the Squishmallows, it's like giving me something else. Like, buying things produces dopamine, and I feel like well, it's not my feeling, it's like a thing with people with ADHD, that they can tend to be like, which our brain doesn't produce enough dopamine, so that's why we're always bored or like need to be stimulating or doing something. So a lot of people with ADHD are at high risk for substance abuse, which isn't like, I feel like shopping and things like that aren't taken as seriously, which it kind of isn't as serious, I guess. I don't know, however you want to think about it. But like, I know myself, and I know that I would get in too deep with substances, so I've never tried anything except for alcohol, and that went down a bad road at one point. So I very, 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 like, I can count on one hand the number of times that I have had alcohol in the last 5 or 6 years. Actually, no, that's too long, wait, 3 or 4 years. And then I don't even play video games because of it, because I will spend all of my time and then I'll feel guilty about it because it's not productive. And I have to be doing something while I'm eating, because if I'm not distracted while I'm eating, I won't finish my food. Like, Hi, Jerry. There you are. You want to leave? Bye. Brows are not even. Well, there's a bird right next to the window. My brows are not even, so I'm going to try to fix with this pencil. I haven't been doing my makeup much lately, but I need to get back into it. It's number one for the project pans, but also I am been slacking on making content for my business, and then I'm also starting the second business that I need to make content for, and I feel like I'm more likely to film videos if I have my makeup done. So back to project pans, like I think the way for me to be successful at project pans and actually enjoy it is to not feel overwhelmed by the amount of products. So like in my 20 and 2021, I have 5 products, and I think that's plenty. Because if I have too many, it'll just be overwhelming. And then also I need to have another reason to be panning than just I spent too much money. Like I need to try to pan my favorite products so that way I can get use out of them and so they don't go bad before I can use them. And a secondary issue, the secondary issue with the whole like going through cycles of buying, like I'm not buying something every now and then. It's like I'm buying a whole bunch at one time, and that is making it harder to keep. How do I explain this? Like most of the things in my collection were all bought at the same time, and they're all going to go bad around the same time. So that's going to create a problem down the road when everything is, expiring. Because that's what happened at last declutter. I had bought everything in like 2017, 2018, and it was all expiring. And then now a lot of my makeup that I bought in 2020. So I feel like next year, maybe the year after, I'm going to have the same thing where I'm going to have to declutter my entire collection or everything that I bought in 2020. But I also feel like now the best thing that I have done so far for like my sanity and for like helping with the makeup hoarding issue was that I stopped trying to make this my job. Because I have talked about this before, I think, but I have ruined every hobby that I've ever had by trying to make money from it. Because I felt like I had to. But you don't. Like, you don't have to always make money from your hobbies. I got distracted by my phone and I completely forgot what I was talking about, and I literally had to watch the last portion of what I just filmed over again so I could remember. So now I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution Ultimate Nudes palette. I feel like now with my current situation and also with having something else to focus my energy on, plus having the reason to want to do my makeup more often, is going to help, I feel, with the whole situation of wanting to buy or like going through the cycles of buying makeup. Because now I'm not trying to do like a new Instagram look every day. I just want to put something on, so that I have makeup on basically to film. And then once that blended very well. Once I decided to change my niche to project pans, I've noticed an influx of subscribers here on YouTube and also on Instagram. Even though I haven't posted on Instagram, if you have a phrase or something in your Instagram bio, those cicadas, if you have a phrase or something in your Instagram bio, that is searchable. So if somebody searches project pans on Instagram, my account could come up as a search result because I have that written in my bio. And also I've made posts before using those hashtags like Project Pan and Project Pan 21, stuff like that. And also I'm not worried about having the next and greatest thing or like the newest release to try to do a video about. Because I have noticed that my content about like a specific product doesn't do as well because I don't usually buy things immediately when they come out. Like I almost bought the KVD Good Apple Foundation immediately when it launched, but I decided not to because I kind of knew that I wasn't doing makeup much at that time. so it would be kind of pointless and I wouldn't be able to get it up to YouTube in time. But I kind of like, I don't know, I think it was good for me to kind of let go of that influencer mentality with this channel and everything. Because like the reality is, in my niche, like in the cruelty-free and vegan space, there is still not a lot of demand. There is demand growing, but there's just so much nuance to cruelty-free and vegan stuff. Like, everyone has a different definition of it. And then if you have your own, like everybody that has their own definition of it is just constantly in question of, you know, well, is that right? Or, you know, where'd you get this information and all that stuff? And like, which I get it, like you want to be informed, but then there's people who make content that just don't care and are only cruelty free because they think it will get them more views. And then they use products that aren't actually cruelty free. There are very few people who have the same standard of cruelty-free as I do. So even if I watch a cruelty-free influencer, I still have to look up the brand status and everything with the resources that I trust, because there's just so much nuance to it. And there are people who still think that China has ended animal testing, and they have not. Like, it is not that simple. They didn't just end it overnight like that. And I don't know if this person is watching this video or not, but I got a comment on one of my cruelty-free videos where I'm going off on a tangent, but I got a comment on my cruelty-free videos that's like, well, isn't post-market animal testing still a risk? Every time I start to talk, the cicadas start up. But they're like, isn't post-market animal testing still a risk in the United States? And I haven't answered because I don't know. I'll have to do more research into that. But as far as I knew before, I don't think it is. And there are a few states who have ended animal testing or like banned it in their states. So I would assume that at least in those states, I think California and somewhere else, I can't remember. But that wouldn't happen, I would think, in those states because animal testing is banned. So I think it is worth looking into though, so I would do that at some point. There's just also a lack of information about all of that. Like, there's not much official resource or anything because the FDA does not regulate cosmetics. Only if I think they only regulate sunscreen and stuff like that that has a medical use. That's why there is no legal definition of the terms cruelty-free or vegan, because the government just doesn't have one. I hope I'm at a place now where I am not going to continue going back and forth, because I recognize this pattern and I've taken that pressure off of myself. Do makeup because I want to and not because I feel like I have to for videos. And honestly, I kind of thought that it would help me want to do my makeup more by getting this new desk, because my old makeup table was a coffee table and I had to sit on the floor to use it because it was short. And I didn't like sitting there for a long time. And that in itself didn't really change much as far as my routine. Hopefully the next time I film, I won't have to have the window open. But I missed Tuesday's video because of this. Like, it was just way too hot, and I finally made the connection that it would be cooler in here in the morning. So it is now. It's actually afternoon now because I've taken so long to film this. And I had to rewatch part of the clip to remember what I was talking about. And I also think my Project Pan this year so far wasn't as successful as it could have been, because I didn't have any other external reason to continue doing my makeup, because I was really, really slacking on making content for my business, and then now I'm starting to make content for my second business. So hopefully I can get some of that done today. I was also kind of waiting until I could get my hair done because my roots have grown out a lot. But I just need to quit waiting and just do it, because it's not going to get done if I keep waiting. Like, that's kind of one of my character flaws, is I always try to wait for the right time. But there never is a right time for anything. I have gotten a lot of stuff done yesterday, and then I have got a lot to do on the agenda today. But I have been severely slacking at making doing social media stuff for my business, which is pretty crucial to a business nowadays. And I think part of it was because I hadn't been doing my makeup or like fixing my hair or anything, and I feel like I want to be somewhat presentable for like the TikToks and everything, even though like I think the videos that I have on TikTok with the most views, I did not have makeup or anything on. So, which not that that was an indicator of the success of the video, just happened to be when I didn't have anything on, any makeup on. I still have my Abby Huang blog, and I don't know what I want to do with that because I'm going to have to pay for the hosting payment that's going to come up. So I don't know if I want to keep that going or what. I don't have very many posts on there. I'm in the middle of building a blog for my new business, so I don't know if I want to look at blogs anymore because I've worked on that one so much. Alright, almost done. I'm just going to do the lipstick. So far the foundation looks okay still. It's a little dewy, probably because it's hot. Stuff on. I thought it would be more melty than it is. It's pretty solid still, which is actually a good sign because it's not like completely melting my entire lipstick collection. It's not as emollient as I expected it to be. It's definitely a little bit stiffer than the Milani Color Fetish, whatever these are called. I can't remember the name. It definitely looks like a grape popsicle stain. So final thoughts on the Project Pan stuff. I am hoping that this moment, like these realizations that I've been having, are going to help me to be more successful at it and to continue not only my no-buy, but like even after that no-buy is over, like to help regulate these patterns of like the cycles that I've noticed of, you know, over and over the same thing at the same time of year. So let me know if you have had that similar experience, if you've noticed like a pattern or like a certain time of year, a certain thing that would make you like want to buy a lot more stuff, because I feel like most people in the Project Pan community have kind of had similar realizations or similar things that have caused them to collect too much makeup and then overspend or just buy too much in general. And also I feel like through Project Pans I've kind of noticed what I prefer in products and what I don't. So that's really helped, and it's going to help me going forward. Even though in my last video I talked about products that I've bought that I haven't used, I know now, like from Project Pans, I'm not going to get to using those, so I don't need to buy any more similar products. So overview of the new products that I used today. This foundation looks really good right now, but hopefully it stays that way, because it does feel a little bit dewy. I do prefer my foundations to stay matte, but as long as it still looks good, I feel like dewier foundations can break down on me faster than matte ones, and I could be making that up. In this Revolution Ultimate Nudes palette, I did not have high hopes for this at all, but it is a decent palette. It was pretty inexpensive. I probably wouldn't buy more Revolution palettes, so I have one more in my collection that I haven't used yet, but I would stick to like indie brands for eyeshadows just on principle. And then I really like this e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine. Again, this was the shade Ecstatic. It just looks like a great popsicle. Like, that was kind of what I was going for, so that worked out pretty well. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you haven't subscribed yet and you've watched this video the whole way through, then you might as well. And I post new videos every Tuesday and Friday, again except for this past week because, you know, the air conditioner was broke. Still is. But all the products that I use will be linked in the description box, as well as my business and my blog, and I will see you guys in the comments and in the next video. Bye.